we live in is like the water fish lives in. Maybe it gets murky or other times it's clear, but essentially it's all the fish knows. Similarly, our conditioning often is out of our awareness until we feel its constraints. What do I mean by constraints? These are all the ways we stop ourselves or get in our own way. These limitations stem from our beliefs of what we can and can't do, what we think we deserve or not. Why does this matter? Does the fish really need to understand the water? At first glance, no, the fish doesn't need to. But on the other hand, if the fish are starting to get sick or die, then yes, understanding the water is important. In humans, before we get sick or die, we usually experience emotional pain. This pain can look like anxiety, fatigue, depression, lack of motivation, or overextending to exhaustion or addiction. These are the first indicators that we are struggling or up against our constraints.
If we pay attention to these indicators, we can do something about them. If we don't pay attention, we will likely pay more in terms of our physical health or our important relationships. Back to the water that the fish were swimming in. The identity most people live within is what we call the constructed identity. Now, this has been built mostly unconsciously and contains scripts from our family, our culture, and our society. It's like a personal playbook on how we do life. In the early stages of life, we need this playbook, but often by the time we're a teenager, we start to push back against these constraints. Unfortunately, fighting with something does not set you free from it.
In our Where Are You diagram, we show both the constructed identity and the authentic self. When we are uncomfortable, the ego automatically takes over and shifts into coping patterns so we can feel safe or avoid perceived threats. The ego looks for ways to distract from or avoid discomfort based on past conditioning or core emotional wounds. It's extremely difficult to come from the heart, the authentic self, when caught in conditioning and limiting beliefs. We know integrating past traumas and unprocessed emotions is the key for returning to wholeness. If you notice you are feeling any of the indicators of emotional pain or reactively coming from fear, it's likely you're caught in your constructed identity conditioning, core wounds, limiting beliefs, or coping patterns.